In a previous course of this learning path, we talked about how important it is to work on a clean environment. Let's refresh some of those concepts. You never want to touch the membrane with your hands, not with your bare hands, not with your gloved hands. There are a lot of things in our hands, such as oils and other particles, that can easily be transferred to the membrane. Even when we're wearing gloves, we're touching a lot of things in our environment, such as the bench and the incubation boxes, and then we can transfer those particles to the membrane, creating unwanted background. The physical structure of the membrane is also very sensitive. So when we need to touch the membrane to transfer it from one box to the other, for example, we only want to grab it by the edge very gently and using forceps. And we need to be gentle in that because even the pressure of the forceps itself can imprint on the membrane, creating background. The same thing can happen if we use too much pressure to write on the membrane. Even with a pencil, we can easily see the imprint of what we wrote on the membrane, having that unwanted background. Therefore, we never want to place anything heavier than filter paper on our membrane so that we don't have that unwanted background. And if you end up touching your membrane, we will know because we're going to see that FBI quality fingerprint. Did you know that if you use a blunt object to cut your membrane, instead of having a clean edge, you may end up having a membrane that's peeling? Now, that may not be obvious to the naked eye at first, but as the membrane goes through the different steps of the protocols, those fragments are going to start to peel, and they may end up binding to the surface of the membrane, creating unwanted background. Not only that, but the peeling edges are also susceptible to different molecules binding to them and creating unwanted background as well. To prevent that, make sure to always use clean, sharp blades to cut your membranes. Dust and lint are also major sources of background. Not only that, but humidity, as well as bending your membrane or really subjecting it to any source of physical strain. To avoid that type of background, make sure to always store your membrane away from humidity in a leveled surface and protected from dust. Now that we're familiar with all of that, let's watch the mechanics video so we can see how all those steps take place in the lab.